Hello and welcome to this tutorial which is going to show you how to crochet this cute cropped halter neck top. I'm Eleonora, the designer behind Coastal Crochet, and if you want a copy of the written pattern for this top then do go over to my website www.coastalcrochet.com and you'll find it over there. This is the Coastal Cove crocheted top. It's very simple, adjustable to lots of different sizes and has a really lovely edging at the bottom that you can see there. So I'll show you how to crochet it. So here you can see the top laid out flat. It's a lace-up fastening at the back. The two back panels meet going around the back and then a lace is threaded through these to join. So it really is very, very adjustable because you can have the lace up quite wide or you can have it quite tight as well. So fully adjustable, and we're going to start by crocheting at this neck edge here. The standard 26 chain that we're going to start with will give us 4 shells on the edging, which is what we do at the end. This neck edging we do at the end, but we begin here and actually work downwards from the top down, making increases at the beginning and end of each row until we get to the width we want to get. The back panels are then crocheted on each side and they are crocheted going across this way, and then finally we have the lower edging going all the way across, and then this top neck edging with the halter neck ties. So it's a lovely simple design, fully adjustable. Let's get started. So what are you going to need? You're going to need some cotton aran weight yarn. I used Rico Design Creative Cotton Aran for my tops, but any aran weight cotton will be absolutely fine. I use UK crochet terminology. I do translate to US as we go through the tutorial, and an aran weight yarn in the UK, that in the US is a worsted weight or Afghan weight yarn. You also need a crochet hook, and I use a 5mm with this cotton aran, but you might crochet looser than me or tighter, so you might have to go up or down a hook size depending on your tension. Do crochet a little swatch of double crochet, that's US single crochet stitches, because that's what the main front panel is made of. And you don't want the stitches to be too tight. You want a little bit of drape in the top, but also you don't want them to be too loose. You don't want too many holes. It's quite nice to be able to wear this top without a bra underneath, so just bear that in mind. You don't want too many holes in the fabric. So this is what my tension looks like using a 5mm hook with the cotton aran weight yarn. So we begin by making 26 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 23, 24, 25 and 26. So we've made 26 chain, and this is the top neck edge of our crocheted tops. Most sizes will fit this neck edge fine. If you want to make it wider, for extra large sizes, you need to add 6 chain on here. And that's so that at the very end, when we do our shell edging, you can get another full shell on. But 26 chain is what most sizes will be fine with. And now we start row 1. And row 1 is 1 double crochet, that's a US single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So there's the loop on the hook, there's the first chain, this is the second chain, and just insert your hook under that one top strand only of the chain and work your double crochet, US single crochet. And then repeat by working 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each chain all the way to the end. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. The work will start to curl. Don't worry, as we add on the later rows, that curling will stop. 24 and 25. So when you've gone along in each chain, you will end up with 25 stitches, like so. That's row 1. So now we turn the work, ready to move on to row 2. And we begin by making 1 chain. That doesn't count as a stitch. We're just using that to get our hook up to the right height. So the very first stitch we crochet into is in fact the very first stitch, right at the base of that 1 chain. And into this one, we're going to be doing 2 double crochet, US single crochet, 1 and 2. And this is because we're beginning straight away to increase the work. So 2 double crochet, US single crochet into that first stitch. Then it's 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the stitches across the row until you get to the final stitch. And so when you're at the end, you've gone all the way along with your double crochet, US single crochet, you've got 1 stitch left there, there's the final stitch, and into that final stitch we work 2 double crochet, US single crochet, like so. So that's the end of row 2, and we've increased at the beginning and end of this row, and so now we have 27 stitches. We had 25 stitches at the end of row 1, and now we have 27. And so now we continue by simply repeating row 2. Turn the work, make 1 chain, which doesn't count as a stitch, and then into the very first stitch, so it's the very, very first stitch at the base of that 1 chain, into the first stitch of the row, we're going to work 2 double crochet, US single crochet, then do 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each stitch across the row until you get to the last one again. And when you get to the last stitch, the final stitch of the row, here it is, into that very final stitch we work 2 double crochet, US single crochet, like so. And you can already see the shape is being created by increasing at the beginning and end of the rows. At the end of row 3 you'll have 29 stitches, because on each row we're increasing by 2, 1 at the beginning and 1 at the end of the row. And so we just continue doing this. I've done 30 rows for my top. My tops are a small, medium, and they do fit a variety of sizes. If you're making the top for yourself or somebody you know, you can obviously measure as you go. But I did 30 rows like this, so 2 double crochet, US single crochet into the first stitch of each row, 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the stitches going all the way across, and then in the last stitch again we do 2 double crochet, US single crochet, and keep doing this for 30 rows in total, or if you want it even bigger you can continue until it's the right size for you. So here I'm on row 12, just to give you an idea. You can really see the shape forming, and just keep going. Double crochet, US single crochet stitches. So I'm at the end of row 30. I've got 1 double crochet, US single crochet to do in there, and then 2 in the final stitch. So having repeated that row 2, where we're crocheting 2 stitches at the beginning of the row, 2 at the end, and then 1 stitch in each all the way along, I have created the lovely front panel shape, and I'll show you that laid out on the floor now. And here you can see it laid out, and the shaping by increasing the rows you can see clearly here. This is the neck edge, and this will be the width, and this will sit under the arms. So at this point, if you want your top to be wider, if this isn't quite reaching to under the arms, then you can just keep going and the top will get wider. So I've done 30 rows. They're quite easy to count in double crochet, US single crochet stitches. Each line separates 2 rows. So here we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30. So I've done 30 rows, and that will give me 83 stitches now going all the way on this edge. And so what we're going to do now is simply do straight rows with no increasing at the beginning or the end, and this will give the top our length. So here I am at the beginning of the first row where we're not going to be increasing. Each row still begins with one chain to bring your hook up to the correct height, and then the first stitch to crochet into is this very first one of the row, and we're simply doing one double crochet, US single crochet into that first stitch, just the one, and then one double crochet, US single crochet in each of the rest of the stitches all the way to the end of the row, including the final stitch where we also just crochet the one stitch. What you might want to do here is just pop a stitch marker into the first stitch of this row. So the first row where we are not increasing the work, just pop a stitch marker into that first stitch, because it's to the side of this row. This is my row 31. If you've done more rows, this will be a different numbered row, but it's to the side of this first row where we're not increasing that we're going to be joining our back panel later on. So if you put a stitch marker into that stitch, then it's very clearly the place where we're going to be joining the back panel later. Just makes it really clear. So now just keep going. I've done 25 rows of the straight rows without increasing. My crocheted top is cropped. If you want to make it longer, by all means add more rows. But in the first instance, let's do 25 rows of straight double crochet, US single crochet stitches, just one in each stitch across the whole row. And keep going. So when you've finished your 25 rows, this is what the front panel is looking like. So with the 30 rows where we were increasing, and now the 25 rows where we've gone straight, there are 55 rows here in total. You can make your top longer, just keep going with the straight rows until you've got the length you want your top to be. But make sure that you end on an odd numbered row. So I've got 55 rows in total, so you could do 57 or 59 or 61. Just make sure you finish on an odd numbered row. And this is the front panel. What we're going to do now is we're going to turn the work, and we're going to make our back panels attached onto the side here. And I'll show you how to do that now. So we're going to make two back panels, and they're both made in exactly the same way. So here you can see the short side edge, and remember where we put the stitch marker into the side of row 31, that was the first row where we were no longer increasing the work. This was row 31 for me. If you made your top wider, this will be a higher numbered row. But where we put that stitch marker, that is to the side of that first row where we weren't increasing the work, and that's where we're going to be joining the yarn now. So insert your hook into the place where that stitch marker is, like so, and then just join with the yarn by pulling through like so. And now we make 4 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that counts as 1 treble US double crochet plus 1 chain. And now we're going to miss the next row edge and work 1 treble US double crochet into the next row edge. It's quite easy to see. If you see the holes here, that is every 2 rows. So the next one you can see here, there is where our yarn is. We're missing this row edge, and the next one is the hole going along. So a treble US double crochet is where we wrap the yarn around the hook, insert your hook into the place, yarn over, pull through to the front, so you've got 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we're going to do 1 chain, miss the next row edge, 1 treble US double crochet into the next row edge, like so. And what we're getting then is little squares, chain spaces, which creates the sort of lacy back panel. So again, make 1 chain, miss the next row edge, 1 treble US double crochet into the next row edge, which is clearly shown by this hole. 1 chain, miss the next row edge, 1 treble US double crochet into the next row edge, and just repeat this all the way to the end. 1 chain and then 1 treble US double crochet in the row edge after the next one, 1 chain, miss the next row edge, 1 treble US double crochet into the next one. And if you look now, you can see this is what you're achieving, these little square chain spaces. Really lovely. So keep going all the way to the end. And here I am nearly at the end. Got the next row edge to miss there, and here in this one at the end we work the final treble US double crochet. And so in total we should now, if you did the same amount of rows as me, you should have 13 stitches and 12 chain spaces. So the stitches including that first 4 chain are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and the chain spaces you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Obviously if you made your top longer then you will have more stitches and more chain spaces, but this is what it should look like. And now we turn the work. We're going to be doing rows, so turn the work, ready to work row 2, and this begins with 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, which counts as the first treble US double crochet stitch of the next row. So on subsequent rows this counts as a stitch, so you will be crocheting into the top of this 3 chain. And so now we do 1 treble US double crochet into the first chain space. So into this first chain space, insert your hook into there and work the treble US double crochet like so. Then we do 1 chain, miss the next stitch and go straight into the next 1 chain space and work treble US double crochet. And we do this all the way to the end until the final chain space. So 1 chain, miss the next stitch, in the next chain space work your treble US double crochet. 1 chain, miss the next stitch, 1 treble US double crochet in the next chain space. 1 chain, miss the next stitch, 1 treble US double crochet in the next chain space. And this is the effect you're getting now. So you're doing the treble stitches, the US double crochets into these chain spaces, and repeat this all the way until you get to the final chain space. And here I am now going into the final chain space like so. And now we actually do 1 treble US double crochet into the final stitch, and this is actually the 3rd chain of that beginning 4 chain. So when we made that 4 chain at the start of row 1, that actually counted as our first treble US double crochet stitch. So go into the 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3, locate that 3rd chain and then just go under 2 strands of the V of that chain just to get a really nice neat finish. So like so, there you go. Insert your hook into the 3rd chain of that beginning 4 chain from row 1 and then work your treble US double crochet stitch as normal. And then this is what the end of row 2 is looking like. Turn the work, ready to move on to row 3. And row 3 begins with 4 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that counts as the first treble US double crochet plus 1 chain. So again at the end of the next row we'll be going into that 3rd chain. And so now we miss the next stitch, which is this first stitch here, and then go straight into the next chain space and work your treble US double crochet. And now make 1 chain, miss the next stitch, 1 treble US double crochet into the next chain space, and repeat this all the way until the final chain space. make 1 chain, miss the next stitch, 1 treble US double crochet into the next chain space, make 1 chain, miss the next stitch, in the next chain space make your treble US double crochet, and this is now what it's looking like. You're getting this lovely lacy grid effect. So continue doing this all the way until the final chain space, remembering to do that little 1 chain, miss the next stitch, 1 treble US double crochet in the next chain space. Keep going to the end, and I'm just going into the final chain space, and then there'll be 2 stitches left. So now we make 1 chain, miss this stitch, and then it's 1 treble US double crochet into the final stitch, which is actually the top of that beginning 3 chain we made in the previous row. So just make sure when you're going into the top of those turning chains, you're inserting your hook under 2 strands of the chain to give it a nice tight and neat finish. And there you go. So everything now in the back panel is a repeat of row 2 and row 3. We just repeat these 2 rows until you've got the back panel as long as you want it. For me, I did 7 rows in total. So 1, 2, 3, I've still got 4 more rows to do. If you want to make your back panel longer, a little wider for the top, then continue repeating row 2 and row 3. So I should remind you of what row 2 is. We turn the work, make 3 chain that counts as your first treble US double crochet stitch, and then it's simply 1 treble US double crochet into that first chain space, like so, and then you're back to the 1 chain, miss the next stitch, 1 treble US double crochet into the next chain space, 1 chain, miss the next stitch, 1 treble US double crochet into the next chain space, and repeat this all the way to the end. So I'm just at the final chain space. Here we go. And then just like before, the end of row 2, we now work 1 treble US double crochet into the 3rd chain of that beginning 4 chain on the previous row. So 1, 2, there's number 3, and insert your hook under both strands of that V, which makes the chain, and work your treble US double crochet. So we've repeated row 2 now, and now again we repeat row 3. So turn the work, and I will remind you what row 3 is. That's where we begin with 4 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4. We miss that first stitch here, and then straight into the chain space with your treble US double crochet. And now we're back to 1 chain, miss the next stitch, 1 treble US double crochet in the next chain space, and do this all the way until the final chain space. Here I am at the final chain space, and then it's 1 chain, miss this stitch, and then 1 treble US double crochet into the final stitch, which is the top of that 3 chain, like so. And so now we've repeated row 2 and 3 once more. So we've got row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but rows 4 and 5 were the same as 2 and 3. I'm going to repeat those 2 rows once more. So I've got 7 rows in total. You can repeat them more if you feel you want a wider top. So keep going. So I'm nearly at the end of my 7th row. This is a repeat of row 3. There we go. And now we can fasten off, ready to do the other back panel in exactly the same way. If you are going to make your back panels longer, just make sure that you finish on a repeat of row 3, because that gives us the full 12 chain spaces, which is perfect for when you're lacing the back panels together to fasten your top. So here you can now see the top laid out flat with one of the back panels attached. That is what they look like worked in rows from side to side going out from that side edge. So that's one of the back panels. Repeat exactly that on the other side. And here you can see both back panels attached to give you an idea. Here I've done my second back panel, and at the end of the second back panel, don't fasten off, because what we're going to do now is crochet all the way along the lower bottom edge, and there's no need to fasten this yarn off because we can turn the work and carry on using that yarn. So this is the edging that we are now going to do and attach to this lower edge. It's actually worked upside down, so you will be holding the work like so and working the edging like this. And so here we are, ready to crochet all along that lower edge. And first of all, to begin, we're going to insert our hook into the chain space to the side of our final row of the back panel and work a double crochet US single crochet stitch like so. And now we make 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, miss the next row edge and then work 1 double crochet US single crochet into the next row edge into that chain space, work the double crochet US single crochet, and repeat this until we get to the main body of the front panel. So make 6 chain, 3, 4, 5 and 6, miss the next row edge, into the next one, into the chain space, work the double crochet US single crochet, 6 chain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, miss the next row edge, double crochet US single crochet into the next chain space to the side of the next row edge. And that for me brings me now to the main body of the front panel. If you made your back panels wider, then you may have another chain space to work into. And now we miss 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next stitch we will work the double crochet US single crochet, but just like before, we just begin now by making 6 chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, miss those 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the next one, work your double crochet US single crochet, 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, miss 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the next one, work your double crochet US single crochet, and continue to do this until you get to the end of the main body of the front panel. So I'm nearly at the end of the lower edge. If you look back, you can see all my 6 chain loops going all the way across, and I have 5 stitches at the end of this front panel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to miss those, do 6 chain, 4, 5, 6, miss those final 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the first chain space to the side of row 1 on the next back panel, work a double crochet US single crochet. If you made your top a little bit wider when we were doing the front panel, you might not have exactly 5 stitches here. You may have 1 or 2 less or more. Just try and even out these 6 chain loops so that they are looking neat and tidy. But for me, if you followed my numbers exactly, you'll have 5 stitches then to miss, and then 1 double crochet US single crochet into the side of that first row edge, and then we just continue to the end. So with 6 chain, 4, 5, 6, miss the next row edge and into the next one, into that chain space, work your double crochet US single crochet. Going to repeat that twice more, 4, 5, 6, miss the next row edge, into the next row edge, work your double crochet US single crochet, and I've got 1 more to do before I'm at the end of my other back panel. make 6 chain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, miss this row edge, and into that final chain space to the side of the final row of the back panel, work your double crochet, US single crochet, and we've gone all the way across, and we have these 6 chain loops evenly spaced. So now we turn the work, ready to go all the way back along that lower edge. And this is where we're actually going to start making some shell stitches. So we're going to begin row 2 by making 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, and this does count as the first treble US double crochet stitch of the row. And we're going to work 2 treble US double crochet into the same stitch at the base of this 3 chain. So into that double crochet US single crochet stitch that we worked at the end of row 1, into that stitch we're going to work 2 further treble US double crochet stitches. So we've made a bit of a half shell at the start of this row. And now we are going to simply work 1 double crochet US single crochet into that first 6 chain space. So these loops where we made the 6 chain, just insert your hook into that loop and work a double crochet US single crochet like so. We're now going to make 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to miss the next stitch, which is this little one here, and simply into the next 6 chain space work another double crochet US single crochet. And so what we've done is we've created another loop going across like so. And now we're going to make our first full shell. So simply in the next stitch, so the double crochet US single crochet that sat between our 6 chains, into that stitch we are going to now be working 5 treble US double crochet. So 1, 2, all into the same stitch, 3, 4, and 5. And that will be our first shell that we've made in the edging, like so. And to secure that shell down, all we do is insert our hook into the next 6 chain space and work a double crochet US single crochet like so. And now we're going to be doing another loop followed by a shell followed by a loop. So make 6 chain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Simply work a double crochet US single crochet into the next 6 chain space, and now into the next stitch we're going to be working our 5 treble again, US double crochet, 1 and 5, and then secure that with a double crochet US single crochet into the 6 chain space like so. And if you look back along the work, you now have a loop with a shell, with a loop, half a shell, and you can see we're alternating by having a 6 chain space with a solid shell. And so carry on repeating this all the way to the end of the row. So I'm nearly at the end of the row. I've gone all the way along, alternating between the 6 chain loop and then the solid shell. Just about to do my final solid shell, so 5 treble US double crochet stitches into there, and 5, 1 double crochet US single crochet in the next chain space to secure that. And then here's the final 6 chain space. We're going to work 6 chain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, work a double crochet US single crochet into that final 6 chain space, and now in the final stitch, so this very first double crochet US single crochet stitch that we made at the start of row 1, into there we finish this row by working 3 treble US double crochet, 1, 2, and there's 3. And so we've done 2 rows now, and we're starting to get this lovely shell lacy edging effect. So turn now, ready to move on to row 3. And so we begin row 3 simply by making 1 chain. This doesn't count as a stitch, and we're going to begin by making 1 double crochet, US single crochet into that very first stitch of the row, like so. And now we're going to work 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just do 1 double crochet, US single crochet into the next 6 chain space, like so. Now work another 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this time we are going to be working 1 double crochet, US single crochet into the 3rd stitch, the central stitch of our shell. So each shell was made of 5 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. The central stitch of the shells that we're working are double crochet, US single crochet into, like so. So what we're going to do now is continue working 6 chain loops all the way along, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but we're going to be alternating by putting a double crochet, US single crochet into the 6 chain space, and then the next one along would again be the central stitch of that shell. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now it's 1 double crochet, US single crochet into the central stitch of the next shell. So 1, 2, 3, there's that central stitch, and into there work your double crochet, US single crochet, and continue doing this all the way to the end. So I'm nearly at the end. I've gone all the way along with my 6 chain loops. I've just worked into the final shell, so 1 final 6 chain space there. Work 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Work your double crochet, US single crochet in the final 6 chain space. Make 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we end the row by working 1 double crochet, US single crochet into the final stitch, which is actually the top of the 3 chain that we made at the start of row 2. So into that chain, 1, 2, 3, there's the top chain of that beginning 3 chain. Insert your hook under both loops and work your double crochet, US single crochet, and that's the end of row 3. You can really see the edging starting to take shape now. So turn for 1 more row of this edging, and we begin this final row by making 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, counts as your first treble, US double crochet, and into the base of that 3 chain, into that double crochet stitch we made at the end of the previous row, we work 2 treble, US double crochet. So 1 and 2. That again is a half shell to begin the row, and we secure that with 1 double crochet, US single crochet into this 6 chain space, like so. And now we straight away make our next solid shell, because we want the solid shells on this row to sit above the 6 chain spaces. So there are the solid shells we made in row 2. Now we're in row 4. We want our solid shells to sit above that 6 chain space between them. So straight away now we're working 5 treble, US double crochet into that first stitch between the 6 chain. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've made our first solid shell there above the 6 chain space, and it sits between the shells. We secure that with a double crochet, US single crochet into the next 6 chain space. Now we make 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the next 6 chain space, work your double crochet, US single crochet, and now into the next stitch that sits between the 6 chain spaces, we work our 5 treble US double crochet. 1, 2, and 5. Secure that into place by working 1 double crochet, US single crochet into that 6 chain space. And you can see now we're getting those solid shells sitting either side of the solid shell in the previous row. And this is what the edging is looking like. So continue doing this, alternating between a 6 chain space and then a solid shell all the way to the end. So now we're doing 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 double crochet, US single crochet in the next 6 chain space, and now we're doing a solid shell, and continue. So I've gone all the way along, alternating between a shell and then a 6 chain space and then a shell and then a 6 chain space and then a shell. Nearly at the end, I've just secured my final shell, and now into the very final stitch, which was the double crochet that we made at the beginning of the previous row. Into there we simply work 3 treble US double crochet stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And this is the end of our lower edging. We can fasten off that work, and I'll show you what it looks like laid flat. And this is now what the top looks like, with the lower edging going all the way across the bottom, like so. Now, cotton fabric responds really well to wet blocking, and that is where you wet the fabric and then just sort of lay out the stitches. You can pin it out, and you can really use that to open up the shells and neaten the edging. But you know, even so, now it looks really, really lovely. That is the lower edging. We're nearly finished, because what we're going to do now is we are going to crochet along the tops of the back panel and then go all the way up the side edge to neaten this edge. Then we're going to make our long halter neck tie, make the shell edging, do the next long halter neck tie, work neatly down the next side edge and across the final back panel. I'm going to do that in one go, and I'll show you how to do that now. So make sure the right side of your top is facing, and you can tell that by the shells. I think the shells look nicer with the right sides facing, so you can really see the stitch definition. If I turn this around, you can see the backs of the shell look very different to the front. This is the back of the shells. This is the front, and I think these look nicer facing forward, so make sure that these are facing forward as you start this final edging to our tops. And we are going to join with the yarn into the top of the back panel. So here you can see the back panel, there's the lower edging. We're going to join the yarn into the chain space to the side of the final row to our back panel, and just join the yarn like so. Make 1 chain, which doesn't count as a stitch, and into this same chain space we're going to work 2 double crochet, US single crochet, 1 and 2. Into the side of the next row, so around the post of this stitch, we're simply going to work another 2 double crochet, US single crochet. Into the next row edge, into that chain space, we're going to work another 2 double crochet, US single crochet, and carry on along the back panel, simply working 2 double crochet, US single crochet into the sides of each of the rows. And when you get to the main body of the top, 1, 2, so I've gone all the way along the top of the back edging, with 2 double crochet, US single crochet in each row edge. I'm now ready to crochet up the side of the front panel. And what we're going to do here is simply work 1 double crochet, US single crochet into the sides of each row. So here you can see is where the back panel is joined, so we're not working into there. The next row edge is this one here. Simply work 1 double crochet, US single crochet into there. There's the next row edge, 1 double crochet, US single crochet, and we just continue by working 1 double crochet, US single crochet evenly up the side edge of this front panel, and go all the way until you get to the top neck edge. So I'm nearly at the end of the side edge of the front panel, nearly back to the neck edge where we started our tops, into the side of that first row. And if you look back, you can see how it's tidied that side edge to the front panel by working these double crochet, US single crochet stitches all along. And now we're at the very top corner of our neck edge, and at this point we make 70 chain because we're making our first halter neck tie. So simply work 70 chain, 1, 2, 3, 69 and 70. So I've made a very long chain, 70 chains. This is our first neck tie, and it's really nice to do it this way because it's integrated into the neck edging, so it's going to be really secure and tight. It's not going to come undone. So you make 70 chain, and now we're going to work back along this chain to make a really nice solid tie. And what we're going to do is simply slip stitch in each chain back. So start with the second chain from the hook. There's the loop on the hook. There's the first chain into the second chain, and each chain along simply work a slip stitch. And a slip stitch is where you insert your hook into the chain or stitch, yarn over hook and pull through both loops on the hook like so. And so work slip stitches all the way back along this chain until you are again back at the neck edge. So I'm nearly back at the neck edge. You can see I've gone and done all these slip stitches along the necktie, and by doing that we've got a really lovely sort of cushioned and comfortable solid necktie. I've got a few more to do before I get to the neck edge. Just working our slip stitches in each of the chains. One more to do. Here we go. And then to secure this necktie, we're working into the base of row 1, into the same place where we've ended our double crochet stitches, US single crochet, going up the side of the front panel. Into there, work a double crochet, US single crochet, like so. And we've really secured that necktie there. What we're going to do now is the shell edging to the top of the neck edge. So this is where we started our top, and we're going to be working into the base of all these stitches into the foundation chain where we started our tops. And we're going to be doing shell stitches, so we're going to miss the next 2 stitches. A bit harder to see because obviously it's the base of the stitches we're working into rather than the tops, but you can see these holes. Miss 2 of those, and then into the next one we're going to work 6 treble US double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. We're going to miss 2 stitches, the base of 2 stitches, 1, 2, and into the next base of the next stitch work a double crochet, US single crochet to secure that shell. And there is the first shell to the top of our neck edging. So we've got 3 more of those to do. If you made your neck edge wider, then you'll have 4 more to do. because there will be 5 shells in total, but for most sizes there are 4 shells going along this neck edge. So repeat this, missing the base of the next 2 stitches, and into the next place work 6 treble US double crochet. 1, 2, and that's 6. Miss the base of 2 stitches, and into the next one work your double crochet, US single crochet. And now you can see I've got 2 shells to our neck edge in. Do 2 more of those to at the end of the neck edge. I'm on my final shell, 2 more stitches to do. Here is number 6, and then we've got 1, 2, and right at the end of the neck edge into the side there of that first row, work your final double crochet, US single crochet stitch. And now you can see we have this lovely shell edging going all the way across the top of the neck. And so now we make our second neck tie. So just like before, we make 70 chain and then work slip stitches all the way back along until we get back to the neck edge. So here is my second neck tie. I've gone all the way along with slip stitches, and I'm nearly back at the top of the neck edge again. Just got a few more to do. Here we go, there's the final one. And now we simply secure that in place by working a double crochet into the same place where we started the necktie, like so. So now we have our neck edge with 2 neck ties. And now we continue down the side edge of the front panel, working into the sides of the rows and working double crochet, US single crochet stitches. Quite easy to see the side of the row edges there, and we just continue working all the way along just to neaten this side edge. Go all the way until you meet the back panel. So I've nearly gone all the way down the side edge of the front panel, looking much neater, really neatens that side edge. And now I'm almost back at our next back panel. And when you get to the back panel, into the sides of each of these rows, we're working 2 double crochet, US single crochet stitches. 1, 2 into that one, 1, 2 into that one, and carry on till you get to the end of the back panel, working your 2 double crochet, US single crochet stitches. And here's the final chain space to the side of the final row of the back panels. There we go. So I've gone all the way along the top edge of that back panel, and now we fasten off. And here is what we have done. We are nearly finished. So we have done our shell neck edging, and we have our halter neck ties, and we've neatened the side of the front panel and the top of the back panels. All that's left to do is to weave in the ends. There are always some ends here and there, so weave in your ends, and then we need to make our back tie, and then that's it. The back tie can simply be made like our neckties, a very long chain. So you can make 170 chain, maybe more or less depending on the size. Obviously, if your back panels are not meeting, because you've got a slightly bigger size, then you might need to make more chains because you want your lace up to be longer. But a good starting point is 170 chain. That's a lot of chains. And just like with the necktie, simply work slip stitches going back all the way. And that will make a really nice lace up for the back. You could, of course, also use ribbon or a contrasting colour. There's all kinds of possibilities, but what we're doing ultimately, I will show you. I can show you on another coloured top that I've done here. Here is the long lace tie at the back, and you're just lacing them through the last row of those back panels, and then creating that lovely lace and pretty solid closure for the back of our tops. But like I said, this can be done with ribbon. You might need a longer tie if your back panels are not quite meeting. And that is the tutorial complete. You've got everything you need to make this gorgeous Coastal Cove halter neck cropped top, and I hope you enjoy making it, and I hope that you or whoever you're making it for enjoys wearing it. So I hope you found the tutorial helpful. Thanks for watching.